All right, folks, from theories about gas to theories about the common cold, Jamaicans have been known to believe a host of things when it comes to our health, but are any of these true? Dr. Alfred Dawes is here now to dissect and dispel a few common medical myths. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Long time.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Hope the family good.
Yeah, man, everybody's good. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I was even having a debate a while ago with one of your crew members that insisting that whenever they have a pain in the shoulder,
it's gas.
and then they rub the belly and then they burp, the pain goes. So it's the gas gone in the shoulder. But there's some amount of correlation, but it's not the gas traveling. Yep. And I think that's what happened a lot of kids.
And as much as we are smiling here and actually laughing, this is serious stuff because you can get yourself in some problems if you don't know exactly what is going on with yourself, right?
And that is a problem. A lot of times when patients come to the hospital or to the doctor's office, they've been watching certain conditions that can be life-threatening, thinking that it is just gas. You know, appendicitis is one of them. And you may have infections in the belly, gallstones, ulcers, even ulcers that burst and are leaking in the belly. People are just saying it's gas because they would have had a history of stomach issues. Yep. So they're just thinking it's just a bad episode.
Believe it or not, that actually happened to someone very close to me in my family. That she had a pain and we all thought it was gas. And it was actually a very serious, it was actually a heart attack.
A heart attack, yeah. And that's another thing because, especially in diabetics, the pain isn't classically in the center of the chest. It can be in the upper part of the abdomen, what we call a referred pain. And sometimes that may be the only signs that is showing. People with heart attacks may even have pain in the shoulder. Yeah. They may have pain that they think is dental pain. Yeah. So these are conditions that you really have to know about.
All right, well, let's deal with this gas thing now. So what causes gas? And if you do, for whatever reason, have gas, what kind of pain you feel or what happens?
All right, so gas is literally gas. Air or the gas is produced by bacteria when they break down food. It's just like when you ferment beer and you produce some amount of CO2. Most of the gas we have is actually swallowed air. So when we're drinking from a straw, sippy cup, or we're gulping, talking while we're eating, and even throughout the day when we're swallowing saliva, we swallow about 1.5 liters of saliva per day. And that is mixed with, you see the bubbles in there. So that gas will go through the intestine, but it is always confined to the intestine. It cannot leave. The only way gas can leave the intestine is if you have a hole or a perforation in the stomach, the colon, and so on.
So when you say the intestine, so if it is genuinely gas pain,
it is only in your gut.
Where? Like down here?
So usually, if it's in the stomach, it would be in the upper part of the belly.
So up here.
Right. And if it is in the intestines themselves, it would be around the belly button. And it's usually a cramping pain. So it grips you a little while, and then it goes. Grips again, and then it goes. Anything that is dull, aching, constant, associated with nausea and vomiting and fever, it is not gas.
How you get rid of the gas?
You have to bust the gas, man. You know, you bust gas. You drink some ginger tea or so, and that's it, and belch it out. You know, or simply just allowing yourself to go to the bathroom. A lot of times what happens is that when you're laying down in bed or you're inactive, the gut slows down as well. So you'll realize that persons who are morning users of the toilet, it's when they get up and start moving around that they actually have that urge.
The other thing you hear that some people say, well, it's just hungry, why you get the gas?
Well, gas take up your stomach. Well, and some of those people might be suffering from gastritis, because gastritis, which is an inflammation of the stomach, and it is very different from what we call gas. Gastritis is very common. As a matter of fact, there was a study that was done some time ago at UWI that showed that the bacteria that causes gastritis or inflammation of the stomach is present in about 2/3 of Jamaicans. And what happens is that the body is trying to kill that bacteria that somehow manages to live in the acid in the stomach. And when it produces more acid, the acid itself damages the stomach. And that is what causes that pain that we usually get. That usually gets worse when we're hungry. And that can lead to ulcers. So that is completely different from gas.
So if you're hungry and you feel this pain is not gas.
It might be that you have some distension of your stomach, or it might be that the acidity in your stomach is causing irritation. And that hypersensitive stomach might be due to that bacterial infection.
I'm looking at you and having a senior moment here, because I'm wondering if I asked you already what caused it. What caused gas? I asked that already?
Yeah. So, I mean, but delving a little bit more into it, the types of food. So, like people who eat a lot of beans, and so on. If you're lactose intolerant, or a lot of us have a little touch of lactose intolerance, so if you eat too much ice cream or drink too much milk, eat too much cheese, some of that breaks down the stomach and the bacteria acts on it and produce gas and cause that bloating that you will get as well.
I was down at school one day and one of the ancillary workers was complaining, said, I eat from and I have this headache and the gas fly up in my head. Anything goes up?
And you cannot tell Jamaicans up to this day that gas cannot go up in your head. But a lot of times what happens is it because primarily our brain uses glucose, the simplest carbohydrate, as energy primarily. Whenever the glucose levels fall in our blood, the brain is very sensitive to that. And we think that is why you get the headache. So it's because your blood sugars are getting low why you start to get that lightheadedness and that
But that is not something good.
But that's why you kind of regulate it. But a lot of times this comes from us eating too much simple carbs. So the blood sugars shoot up.
What is simple carbs?
The simple carbs like the rice and the flour and the sugary stuff, the processed foods. The blood sugar rises fast, the insulin rises fast, trying to control it, overshoots and drops it too low. So you have these spikes. And that is what usually ends up causing an unsteady blood sugar level.
This morning when we were talking about it, somebody came in my ear and said, black pepper causes gas too.
Black pepper causes gas, it causes stoppage of water, it causes all sorts of madness. Nothing don't go so. Not all like that. But there are a lot of myths, and I realize it's something that a lot of Jamaicans want to know about, so I'm going to be doing a little bit more content related to that. Just to try to, because not all things are completely false. Just for example, that whole thing about the gas in the shoulder, it's really the stomach pressing on the diaphragm, that same muscle that gives you stitches when you run. It shares a nerve with the nerve that goes to the shoulder. So if you're having the stomach gas pressing on that diaphragm, your body might think it is the pain in the shoulder.
Now, gas in itself can cause any serious problems in your body?
Not usually. Your body usually gets rid of it like that. It passes out one way or another, either up or down.
So if you have gas, it's not anything for a man to know.
If you're constantly having gas, then you might have to worry about your diet, what you're eating.
But you are suggesting that if the pain is not somewhere down here, you need to check out
certain types of pains are not characteristic of gas at all. And the common things that we are seeing people with is appendicitis, which is a dull aching pain, starts in the navel and it moves to the right. Mm-hmm. We usually see gallstones, which is in the upper part of the abdomen, but then that grips you and goes when you eat foods, especially fatty foods. And that is usually after you eat, not when you're hungry, that you would feel that pain.
I'm asked a question that if you have a pain in your stomach and it don't go away for like an hour or so, that is a concern?
It's, an hour, 2 hours or so, but the nature of the pain is important. So that pain that's there for an hour, if it grips and goes, then even if it lasts 2-3 hours, then that is probably something.
As a doctor, I suspect people come in the office and say, Doc, may have gas. And you're going to say, no, how easy it is for you to make them understand, say, nothing goes.
It's hard. People come in the office and they'll be like, I have a gas, or they might say, I have a low feeling. And you try to figure out, up till this day, I've been doing medicine for almost 20 years and I still don't know what a low feeling is.
Good to see you, my friend. Always
a pleasure.
Blessings. Old man for medical doctor, Dr. Alfred Dawes. There you go. I hope we got something out of that one. But importantly, if you're not too certain what is going on with your body, check somebody who can tell you what is going on with your body. All right, second edition of News in 5. When we come back, stay with us, please.